Chapter 21 to 22. Number 5. Number 5 was when things between me and Lucas started to go wrong. I began seeing ways that Lucas was not perfect, how he could mess up just like me. He had been my good luck charm and he had failed me. I hear a low growl of excitement. I look up and instantly forget about Lucas. Moose, Moose, no. Moose has torn into the woods, barking furiously as he scrambles past a thicket of young spruce. His prey is small and furry and slow. It ambles unhurriedly through the brush, snuffling through the dirt for grubs. It is way too easy to catch. Moose! My pack is on the trail, and I go crashing through the brush. Come back, boy. Moose does not listen. By the time I get to him, the skunk is already hissing and stamping, its tail puffed out so wildly it looks like it has been stuffed into an electric socket. Hey there, boy. I try to keep my voice even. Moose, you leave him alone. Moose perks up his ears. He hears me, but his eyes are fixed on the skunk. Slowly, he lowers his head. A woof escapes his throat. He begins to circle the black and white ball of fur. The skunk hisses again, and Moose rushes it. The skunk backs away and turns its tail toward Moose. Moose, stop! I cried, but Moose is in full-on attack mode. With a snarl, he darts forward, his mouth gaping open as he goes in for the kill. The skunk blasts him with a putrid yellow spray that lands squarely on Moose's nose. He sneezes and snuffs and lets out a piteous moan, as if hot coals have been thrown on his snout. His hind legs collapse on him as he paws at his face. Satisfied, the skunk hurries on its unharmed way. Oh, Moose, I want to hug him, but the stink is overwhelming. Moose drops to the ground and rolls around, trying to escape the horrible smell covering his body, but only succeeds in dirtying up his already mangy coat. As I watch Moose, all I can think about is that I've gone and done it. My bad luck has rubbed off on him. Of course, the first thing I tried to take care of would get hit in the face with skunk spray. Come on, boy, we'll get you cleaned up. I hope it's the truth. It seems like ages before we reach Mid-Spa. It is late afternoon and both of us are tired and stinky. Moose drops his head and lays down on a flat rock while I go inside. Afternoon light pours through the high windows of the dining room. Leaning back on a chair behind the front desk is the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. She's wearing a denim dress cinched at the waist with a simple brown belt. Her long brown hair falls over her shoulders like waves on a beach. Her green eyes are fixed on the guitar she is strumming. Half-formed thoughts and murmurs spill from her lips. She is lost in the song that she is making. I want to freeze that moment forever. A girl, her voice, sunlight falling on her hair. She finishes and looks up. Hi there. Hi, hello, I'm having trouble making words. Yes, well, you sing. That was really nice. Oh, yes, skunk. I think I am babbling. Oh, no. The angel puts down her guitar. Pepper, she sighs. He's been hanging around the hut for the past month. At some point, he was bound to spray. I tried to stop him, but he got to Moose. The girl's lovely eyebrows arch delicately. I see the question on her face. I mean, he got my dog. Well, he's not my dog, but he's been following me. I named him Moose. The skunk didn't get a real moose. That would be funny. Haha. My efforts to sound intelligent are not improving. The girl comes out from behind the counter. Let's take a look and see what we can do. Chapter 22. Moose has company by the flat rock. I spot a familiar ball cap and bandana standing a respectful distance from him. Sean, Denver. Hey there, Tony, Denver waves. How long have you been here? Just a couple of minutes. Are you planning to stay the night? Yeah, at Naman tent site next door. Denver nods. Us too. Glad to see you caught up to us. Sean and I were heading to the hut to refill our water bottles when we ran into your dog. Doesn't seem as though he's having a very good day, said Sean. Moose thumps his tail sadly. The girl from heaven turns to the pile of stench curled in a miserable ball. This guy is going to need a good scrubbing. Do you need help? Denver asks eagerly. The more the better, says the girl. She smiles at Denver. I'm Abby. Denver. In that moment, I wish I were 5 years older and handsome and rugged and not blubbery mess whenever I talk to a pretty girl. Denver has spoken 5 words and already he's gotten the girl's name and her smile. Jealousy flickers in me. On the other hand, Sean does not seem impressed with Abby's green eyes and long, dark, silky hair. I'm refilling my water, he says gruffly, and heads inside the hut. I hear tomato juice is great at getting the stench out, Denver says to Abby. No, that's a myth, I interrupt. Denver has been nice to me, but I'm eager to prove to Abby that I know a thing or two about skunks. It just covers the smell, it doesn't get rid of it. A few years ago, me and a friend of mine were volunteering at a rescue shelter. A dog came in after being skunked, and the way we got rid of it was with hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and dish detergent. Abby pulls out her phone and double-checks my facts. Looks like Tony is right, she says. I silently cheer. I've got that stuff in the hut. We can de-skunk Moose out back. Follow me, Abby says. I call to Moose and he hops off his rock. He follows me and Denver as Abby leads us down a rugged path that cuts through grass and rocks to a hidden corner of the hut. It's like a little hideaway surrounded by trees and protected from view of foot traffic. It's a surprise to find a secret place so close to the hut. It's even more of a surprise to find a turquoise kiddie pool dotted with pink dolphins full of water, with a guy in it, a Speedo, and a forest of curly hair on his chest lounging in it, reading a copy of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. He looks up as we approach, then goes back to his book. As we get closer, the guy's nostrils flare. He gives 2 short sniffs, and then he is out of the pool and hopping about, holding his nose as water dances off his tight swimsuit. Miraculously, Harry Potter has stayed dry. Pool time's over, Dan. Abby gives Moose a tentative pat. Pepper skunk this little guy. We've got to get him soaped up. Dan wraps a towel around his waist. I'll heat some water, he says, and disappears through a side door into the hut. Wait here. Abby follows Dan and reappears shortly with a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, a box of baking soda, liquid soap, a sand pail, and an old threadbare towel. She mixes the de-skunking ingredients in the pail and fills it with water so it bubbles up. Here, Moose, she calls. Moose skitters back, whining. Here, let me try. I'm good with dogs. Denver rolls up his pant legs and steps into the kiddie pool. Come on, boy, he coaxes, clapping his hands softly. Moose hesitates and Denver crouches down. Here, boy, we're going to get you cleaned up. Denver reaches for Moose and hoists him into the pool. Moose holds still as Denver lifts him up, but as soon as his paws touch the water, he explodes. His legs pummel the air and his body twists like a seal. He headbutts Denver, and the two of them pitch backward, sending a massive wave across the pool. Sputtering, Denver emerges from the water, still holding Moose, who is yipping in terror. Moose, Moose, hey! A moment later, I'm in the water with them, my arms hugging Moose's stinky body. Denver has let go and is busy wiping his eyes clear of water. I ignore the horrible reek of skunk dog hair and put my chin on Moose's head. I scratch behind his ears and whisper, It's okay, buddy. Shh, it's okay. Moose trembles and quiets down. I stroke his matted fur, feeling the skin draw tight over his still showing ribs. Even though he has feasted on bread and pasta for the past couple of days, a lifetime of starvation has kept him horribly skinny. Keeping one hand on his head, I dip the other in the water and slowly wet Moose down. Abby hands me the pail, and I pour the mixture over Moose's back. I work my hand through his fur, gently scrubbing one side. I pick out twigs and untangle knots and work out clumps of dirt-encrusted hair. Moose has closed his eyes and sits perfectly still. Where before he was frightened of the bath, I think he's enjoying it now. When I have scrubbed away all the layers of dirt, I use the empty sand pail to rinse him off. Dan arrives with a large pot of warm water, and I pour it over Moose. When I am done, he jumps out of the pool and shakes himself off. He is clean for the first time since I met him, and now I can see that the splotch of fur on his chest is pure white. I pick up the old towel that Abby has brought and rub him down. He still has a whiff of skunk on him, but only a whiff. As I dry his head, Moose gives my face a single lick. It's like he's telling me that it's okay, that it wasn't my bad luck that got him, but just something bad that happened, and I figured out a way to make it better. It is then when I feel like Moose is really and truly my dog.